You are stronger than your excuses, but most people never realize it. Not because they lack ability, not because they lack intelligence, not because they lack opportunity, but because they believe the quiet lies their excuses whisper to them every single day. Excuses are subtle. They don't shout. They don't announce themselves as weakness. They sound reasonable, logical, justified. They say things like, "I'm too tired. It's not the right time. I don't have enough money. I'll start tomorrow. Other people have advantages I don't." And slowly, over time, those small sentences build invisible walls around your potential. The truth is, excuses are protection mechanisms. They protect your comfort. They protect your ego. They protect you from the fear of failure. Because if you never try, you never fail. And if you never fail, you never have to confront doubt. But here's the cost. If you never try, you never grow. Every single person who achieved greatness faced obstacles. But they also faced something more dangerous than obstacles: the temptation to justify staying average. The temptation to stay safe. Excuses feel safe. Taking action feels risky. Excuses say, wait until you feel ready. Strength says, start before you're ready. Excuses say, you don't know enough. Strength says, learn while moving. Excuses say, you're not talented enough. Strength says, effort beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. You must understand something powerful. Your excuses are not stronger than you. They are habits of thinking, and habits can be broken. Most excuses are rooted in fear: fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of discomfort, fear of change. And fear is persuasive. It tells you that staying where you are is safer than stepping into uncertainty. But growth only happens in uncertainty. If you want results you've never had, you must do things you've never done. Excuses are the voice of your comfort zone fighting for survival. Your comfort zone does not want you to wake up early. It does not want you to train harder. It does not want you to study longer. It does not want you to risk embarrassment. It wants you safe, predictable, small. But you were not built to be small. You were built with capacity, with potential, with strength that you have not even tapped into yet. Look back at your life. Think about moments you thought would break you. Heartbreaks, failures, disappointments. You survived them. You adapted. You continued. That is evidence of strength. You are stronger than you give yourself credit for. The problem is not capability. The problem is decision. Every day you wake up, there is a silent battle happening inside you. The battle between discipline and delay, between courage and comfort, between action and excuse. And whichever voice you feed becomes stronger when you say, I'll do it later. You strengthen delay. When you say just this once, you strengthen weakness. When you say, I can't, you strengthen limitation. But when you say, I will, something shifts, power enters, momentum begins. You must stop negotiating with your excuses. The alarm rings. Your excuse says 5 more minutes. Your strength says get up. The workout feels hard. Your excuse says skip today. Your strength says finish what you started. The opportunity feels scary. Your excuse says you're not ready. Your strength says grow into it. The life you want is on the other side of uncomfortable decisions. And here's something critical. Excuses multiply. One skipped workout becomes a week. One delayed task becomes a month. One missed opportunity becomes regret. But discipline multiplies too. One completed task builds confidence. One brave decision builds courage. One consistent habit builds transformation. You don't need superhuman willpower. You need awareness. Start noticing your excuses. Write them down. Challenge them. When your mind says, I don't have time, ask yourself, is that true? Or am I prioritizing something else? When your mind says, I'm too tired, ask, am I physically exhausted or mentally resistant? When your mind says, I can't, ask, can't or won't. Most limits are self-created. And here's the powerful truth. Strength is revealed in resistance. You don't discover strength when things are easy. You discover it when things are difficult. When you want to quit, but continue anyway. When you feel doubt, but move forward anyway. When you feel fear but act anyway, that anyway is power. You are stronger than your excuses because you have already overcome things your excuses told you that you couldn't survive. The next time your excuse speaks, pause. Don't immediately obey it. Observe it. Question it. Your excuses are not commands. They are suggestions, and you don't have to accept them. The difference between average and extraordinary is not talent. It's the refusal to let excuses win. Every champion, every leader, every high achiever had the same 24 hours you have. They had the same doubts, the same fears, the same moments of laziness. The only difference? They acted despite them. They understood something simple. Feelings are temporary. Results are lasting. You may not feel motivated every day, but you don't need motivation. You need commitment. Commitment shows up when motivation disappears. Excuses fade when commitment strengthens. Right now, there is a version of you waiting to emerge. A stronger version. A more disciplined version. A more confident version. But that version requires you to outgrow your excuses. You are not weak. You are not incapable. You are not stuck. You are stronger than your excuses. And this is just the beginning. We uncovered the lies that excuses tell us and realized that strength lies in choosing action over comfort. Now, let's take the next step: how to permanently break free from the chains of excuses and turn your potential into unstoppable results. Excuses are habits, and like all habits, they can be replaced. The first step is awareness. Every time you catch yourself saying, "I can't," or "I don't have time," or "I'll do it later," stop. Pause. Recognize that this is not a truth. It is a thought. A temporary, often irrational thought. Successful people learn to separate facts from the stories their mind tells them. Most people react automatically to excuses. They hear the whisper of delay or fear and comply without thinking. But highly effective people interrupt that pattern. They ask themselves one question: will this excuse serve me, or will action serve me? That question changes everything. It transforms passive thinking into intentional decision-making. Breaking excuses also requires small wins. Don't wait to overhaul your entire life in a single day. Start with manageable actions. Wake up earlier than usual. Finish that one task you've been procrastinating. Exercise for 10 minutes. Make that call you've been putting off. Every small victory weakens the habit of excuse-making and strengthens your identity as someone who acts. Momentum grows from these small wins. Another critical principle is reframing discomfort. Excuses often appear because you associate growth with pain, effort, or fear. It's too hard, your mind says. But highly successful people view discomfort as a signal that they are growing. The challenge you fear is the fuel you need. Embrace it. Lean into it. Let the struggle teach you resilience, discipline, and creativity. Every uncomfortable moment is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses. Consistency is the secret weapon. Excuses are strongest when your actions are sporadic. They thrive on indecision and delay. But when you consistently take action, even imperfect action, excuses lose their power. The daily habit of doing what must be done, regardless of mood, builds unstoppable self-trust. You begin to believe in yourself more than you believe in the excuse. And that belief is transformative. Your environment also influences your excuses. If you surround yourself with people who make excuses, consume content that promotes laziness, or live in a culture of comfort, your mind will reinforce excuses. Successful people curate their environment to remove these triggers. They seek mentors, peers, and resources that challenge them, push them, and inspire action. Your surroundings can either feed your excuses or starve them. Choose wisely. Self-talk is another battlefield. Excuses often come disguised as negative thoughts. They say, "I'm not ready," "I'll never succeed," or "this is too risky." But what you repeatedly say to yourself becomes your reality. Change your narrative. Replace "I can't" with "I can learn," "I will try," or "I am capable." Words are powerful. Speak to yourself as someone already stronger than the excuses that try to hold you back. Accountability is also essential. Excuses thrive in isolation. When no one is watching, it is easy to delay, avoid, or quit. But when you create accountability, whether through a mentor, a coach, a friend, or public commitment, excuses shrink. Knowing someone else depends on your actions makes inaction uncomfortable. Highly successful people leverage this principle constantly. They surround themselves with people who demand more from them than they would demand from themselves. Failure and setbacks are also opportunities. Excuses often appear to protect us from the fear of failing, but failure is not proof of weakness. It is proof that you are trying. Each failure provides data, insight, and clarity. When you interpret failure as feedback rather than a signal to quit, your excuses lose their grip. Your actions become guided by purpose rather than fear. One of the most powerful tools in overcoming excuses is vision. If your goals are vague or distant, excuses feel reasonable. But when your purpose is clear and your vision is compelling, excuses feel irrelevant. Highly effective people anchor themselves to outcomes that inspire them. They visualize the life they want, the impact they can create, and the person they are becoming. That vision fuels action even when excuses try to hold them back. Finally, you must embrace the principle of discipline. Motivation is fleeting, inspiration is temporary. Excuses are persuasive in the moment. Discipline is the antidote. Discipline is acting even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. Discipline is the bridge between desire and achievement. Every time you act with discipline, your excuses lose a little more power. Every time you act without relying on motivation, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your fears, doubts, and excuses. Remember this: every excuse you resist, every action you take, every small victory you achieve compounds over time. Soon, your identity changes. You are no longer someone who waits for the perfect moment. You are no longer someone trapped by fear or procrastination. You are someone who takes charge, who moves forward despite discomfort, who knows that every action, no matter how small, is proof that you are stronger than your excuses. Strength alone is not enough. Many people have the potential to do great things, but they stop after one or two victories. Momentum is the multiplier. Momentum is what turns small actions into massive outcomes. Every time you act despite fear, discomfort, or excuses, you add fuel to your momentum. Every time you follow through on a commitment to yourself, you increase the speed of your growth. Momentum compounds just like interest in a bank account. The longer you maintain it, the greater your results become. The key to momentum is consistency. Momentum doesn't come from sporadic bursts of effort. It comes from repeated, purposeful action over time. You don't need perfect execution. You need persistent execution. Show up every day, do the work, and your momentum will build. Even when results seem invisible, even when progress feels slow, every action adds to your cumulative strength. Excuses try to interrupt momentum. Your mind will whisper, "Take a break. You deserve rest. It's too hard today." Momentum is fragile in the presence of excuses. But if you recognize the voice of your excuses and act anyway, your momentum grows stronger. Soon it becomes self-sustaining. Once momentum is established, it creates a force so powerful that it carries you past days when you feel weak, uninspired, or uncertain. Another principle of momentum is focus. Highly successful people know that energy scattered across too many tasks dissipates results. Momentum is built by aligning your energy with your highest priorities. Focus on the tasks that matter most to your goals. Eliminate distractions. Reduce noise. Commit to deep, deliberate action. Focus turns ordinary effort into extraordinary output. Momentum also thrives on celebrating small victories. Each time you overcome an excuse, each time you complete a task you thought you couldn't, you generate confidence. Confidence feeds motivation, which feeds more action. This creates a positive cycle. Momentum is both physical and psychological. Your body learns that it can do more than it thought, and your mind begins to trust your capabilities. That trust is the foundation of unstoppable achievement. Failures and setbacks are inevitable, but momentum helps you recover faster. When you are moving forward consistently, mistakes do not stop you, they guide you. You learn more quickly, adjust strategies, and continue moving. Excuses lose power in the presence of action. Momentum acts like a shield. protecting you from the paralysis of doubt and fear. High achievers also understand the power of alignment with purpose. Momentum without purpose can feel like motion without direction. When your actions are tied to a compelling why, your dream, your vision, your impact, momentum becomes effortless. You wake up every day knowing that your work matters. That alignment transforms effort into energy, energy into speed, and speed into results. One more critical factor is resilience under pressure. Life will always present unexpected challenges. Deadlines, setbacks, criticism, or loss will try to halt your progress. Momentum built from disciplined action allows you to absorb pressure without stopping. It gives you the courage to act even when obstacles appear impossible. Each challenge you overcome becomes additional fuel for forward movement. Highly successful people also leverage accountability to sustain momentum. They understand that action is easier to maintain when commitments are public, visible, or shared with others. Accountability turns intention into execution. Your excuses have less power when you are answerable to someone or something bigger than yourself. Finally, momentum compounds over time. One consistent month of effort can create results far greater than a year of inconsistent action. One day of courage builds the foundation for another. 1 week of action multiplies into months of transformation. Momentum is invisible at first, but once it reaches a tipping point, it produces exponential growth, turning ordinary individuals into extraordinary achievers. Remember, excuses are temporary. Momentum is permanent. The power to push past excuses and generate momentum exists within you. You are stronger than your excuses because you can act despite them. You can keep going when comfort tempts you to stop. You can face fear, disappointment, or failure and continue moving forward. And once momentum takes hold, it carries you farther than you ever imagined. If you're serious about taking action in your life, stop waiting and start now. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, because here on this channel, we bring you daily motivation, life-changing insights, and the push you need to stop procrastinating and start achieving. Don't just watch, take action, and let's rise together.